Hey guys, welcome to another podcast with the Struggling Hunters. Another little episode of us being together, which, like we said, is going to happen a little more often, and it seemed to be happening.
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. We appreciate it. We hope we value your time, and we try to come up with some good content, and that's part of the struggle of all this too. But introduce ourselves. I'm Joe. I got Eric here.
Hey guys.
And we're as Eric says, sitting in the hunting shack, cussing and discussing, and trying to decide what we'd discuss tonight. And we kind of got talking about how the last week has been for us, and couple things is that we'll kind of give you like I guess a recap of not the recap. Tell you what we're gonna we are gonna discuss a little bit, and then we'll kind of go from there. So Eric found some turkeys. Me being new to this Fruita, Colorado area, me and the wife went out for the wife and I, to be correct, went out for a little desert ride, and that was kind of fun. And I guess these two both have a hunting theme topic with them, so we kind of thought we'd just go down that route and share with you my new move to Colorado and what that's looking like for me. And then, like I said, Eric's little turkey hunting, little turkey experience. And I guess because I keep botching it, we'll just go ahead and let Eric tell us of his communications with some turkeys.
So I get to tell the whole story, huh?
Yes.
I didn't know if I was going to actually tell the story, but since you put me on the spot, I will. Which is fine. It's kind of funny, I guess. But so I was actually at work and came across some turkeys finally. Usually I come across them a little earlier than what I did this year. But they are. I got to do some Onyx research, but I think they're in public, but they might not be. It's kind of iffy. So I kind of got to jump on some turkeys though, which is a good thing. But I'll explain the story. I was coming down the road, and I saw what I thought was two hens, but they might have been a couple jakes. Not 100% sure. Anyway, I saw them, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool," and they didn't want nothing to do with me, and they walked off or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, cool!" I saw some turkey, and I was getting ready to. I was driving down the road, but I was kind of popping out my Onyx and getting ready to kind of mark the area and send it over to Joe and be like, "Hey, I saw some turkey in this area." And about that time, about a quarter mile down the road, I saw a Tom out there, and he looked like he had maybe I'd say a 5 to 6 inch beard, kind of an average size. He was pretty far away. It could have been a little bigger, but anyways, so I saw him down there, and I was like, "Oh, well, can't hunt or anything right now, but I'll just, I had my turkey calls with me, so I ripped them out of the package and turned off my truck real quick, and I laid down a chirp, and right away, he responded right back to me, and I'm like, "Oh, cool, well, I'll play with him for a little bit." And I did it again, and the second time I did it, I kind of messed up, but the second time I did it, he didn't boo at all. He just took off and just booked it away from me. And I'm like, maybe I should practice my turkey calls a little more. And so, anyways, that was my story. But I did kind of jump some turkeys, and I was in a situation I couldn't really do much about it. But it was nice to see some.
Right. Well, I think the one thing though that I kind of liked about that situation is, I guess, a little bit of learning that you kind of got along with that impromptu run-in with the turkeys is, I don't know how much truth there is. I feel like, you kind of botched the call a little bit, and he alerted and took off, and I don't know how true that is down deep in the woods where, you're right by the road, so he knows he's closer to humans. But, it's just one of those food for thought things where it's like, okay, do I have to be that perfect every time? I guess I should say if you are, you're probably gonna have better odds.
Yeah.
But
yeah, if you actually know what you're doing a little bit,
yeah.
I just go out there and just with my reed, just try to chirp a bunch. There's like little chuckles and or what I can't remember all the different terms that they have for. I'm like, well, I kind of have the chirp down, so that's all I do. But I don't know. I do like to challenge myself with the reed though. Like, I want to get into the chalk and the what's that call with
box call?
Box call, yeah. I want to do the box call and the now I can't remember the other one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I want to play around with the other types of calls, but I really like messing around with the reed. I like to mess around with the reed for elk hunting and stuff, so I figure the better I get with it on both
ends. If you can use one reed for 2 different seasons, you're that much better of a hunter.
Yeah, but there is a difference. I used to kind of do that with the elk reeds. I'd buy an elk reed and then try to use it for the turkey. Then I finally broke down and bought a turkey reed, and there's definitely a sound difference. I mean, they figured it out through science or whatever. They definitely sound a lot different.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and then me and Joe were cussing and discussing earlier. Found some areas that I'm gonna try turkey hunting soon. I don't know if I'll go without Joe or not, or if I'll wait for him. But I kind of rather wait. But yeah, have some areas that I want to check out that I think I hopefully get an opportunity to do something. So I'm starting to get kind of more like, I guess, ready to go for turkey. I've been kind of relaxed about it for the last few weeks since season opened. But I have been, as I said in the last podcast, one of the reasons I've been a little more relaxed about it is because I have been working a lot of weekends, and so I've been like just tired, not really too motivated, I guess, or just trying to find rest wherever I can get it. So
right.
So yeah. So anyways, that's kind of my turkey experience. Then, kind of going back to you, Joe. You said that you did you find much territory you went to you and your wife?
Well, we being in where we lived in Utah, we'd always try to go for a drive or whatnot. So one night I go out and try to get out of the city and drive around in the woods if we can. And one night this week we hopped in the car and went for a drive out in the desert here. And I guess I should say there was 2 different evenings. We went out and we did 2 different routes. And one route took us around to some farmers' fields and green pastures. It was more or less turkey hunting or turkey scouting. See if I can see anybody. Did come across a couple, like 2 different groups of deer in some farmers' fields, and and then I was like, that's kind of cool, But they were in green fields with one of the canals going by, so there's plenty of food and water right there. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that big of a herd, but there was probably 5 or 6 between in the 2 different herds together. There'd been about 10 or so or more. So, anyways, not that really matters. Oh man, sorry guys, started stumbling over my words there. But so then we went for another drive out in the desert, and there's not a lot of deer activity or anything out there. You can tell. I think when I've been out there in the past, I've seen some pronghorn and stuff, and so, but you can take the desert and go drive up to the mountains. So that's kind of. I was telling my wife, I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to make it this my goal is to come out here and, get up in the foothills of the mountains and, find the water or whatnot. But I kind of have this, I guess, a lifelong goal now of wanting to kill like a desert buck, just out in the desert, not so much a mountain deer. I don't know why, but it's just, I guess, different. I haven't done it. So I was like, I think I'm going to try to start scouting the foothills up along here out in the desert, get up in the mountains a little bit and see if I can't come across some deers in the next, I'm not going to set myself up to be like, okay, in the next 2 years I'm really going to make it happen. I want to hunt better hunting areas, and then just keep spending time out here in the desert and just trying to find them that way. Not necessarily like, there'll be some days where the whole goal is to find deer, but more along the lines of just exploring and having fun and hopefully tripping across some deer. Then I can start doing some hunting. That's kind of a rough plan of the next three years for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. No, out here in the desert that he's talking about. There's spots along the Book Cliffs. There's spots along there that I've seen deer.
Right.
I used to see. Well, I mean, this ain't really podcast material, but I did see pronghorn out there, out on 21 Road years and years ago. But this last time I was out there, I didn't even really see much.
Yeah, like I said, I've seen antelope out there. I don't know which road it was off, but it's been. Like I remember we were riding 4-wheelers out there and just kind of going up and over the roads and dropped down in this little wash area. It had a big old meadow. I think it must have been early spring, and there's some pronghorn in there, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And that's like the only herd I've ever seen. Yeah. I talk like I go out there every weekend, but over the years, once or twice going for rides, I don't really see anything.
Yeah, it's vegetation's just weird out there. I mean, I don't know. I imagine more time you spend out there, you find little honey holes and stuff.
Right.
But I know in the years that I've went out there and just looked around or rode dirt bike. I used to ride dirt bike out there all the time and just never really seen much.
Yeah.
So. Well,
like I said, like it's one of those. I know it's a hard thing to come across, and so if I ever become a full-time hunter, it's a different story. But just the weekend warrior, it's more of a hobby thing. There's something that me and the wife can drive out there and scout and go for a drive together and look and give us something to do with more than just a drive. Right. So it's not, like I said, it's not like I'm trying to make it happen next week or next year, but it's just something to go and learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my chair is back against the desk, started squeaking.
No, it's a good goal, and hopefully you fulfill that goal. I think they're out there, or they might be a little closer. I mean, I'm sure they cross through there sometimes, but yeah, I know just doesn't look like a lot of vegetation out there. It's high desert area for people that haven't ever been to Grand Junction, Colorado. It's pretty high desert. Not a lot of vegetation.
No, not a lot of water holes.
Yeah.
So it's a true desert.
The water is a situation.
Yeah.
So
there is ranchers that have cattle, so they have like trucked in water, but that's seasonal. So that's like a thing to learn too, with the whole trying to understand the water situation.
Having a second thought on it though, like I bet certain times of the year, maybe even during hunting season, not as many people are out there doing recreational stuff, and they, the animals might come out a little bit more over in that area. I don't know. It's something to kind of look at, look toward.
Right.
So, yeah, that'll be fun. But where we at? Yeah. Awesome. No, it's another late night, end of the week kind of deal. So we're little tired, little burned out of the week. But so sorry about that. Maybe I'll even delete that out. But yeah, I think that'd be a good goal, Joe. Is there anything else you really want to?
No, I think that's it. Just pushing forward and learning. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. With that said, I do have a closer. My buddy Tyrell, that we grew up with, up in Idaho. He listened to our last podcast, and we've talked a little bit about getting him on this podcast as maybe our first guest or something. But I do want to say, last week I was talking about my shotgun jamming up, and he reached out to me, and he's like, try to clean it up like this and do this and use some air to get in there, and if that doesn't fix it, then your gun's probably no good. But that should probably fix it. So, long story short, thank you, Tyrell, for that, and can't wait to get you on the podcast whenever that happens. I think me and Joe are still, with him moving and everything, we're still trying to get everything situated to make all that possible. But with that said, that was kind of cool to reach out like that and help me with some advice. You're still helping me learn how to, or become a better hunter. So I appreciate it. And but I just thought that was kind of cool. I thought it was worth mentioning on the podcast. And with that, if you don't have any other closers, I'll go ahead and get us out of here.
No, that's it. I'm good.
All right, guys. So thanks for listening to the podcast. Sorry if it was a little slow at times or whatnot, but yeah, it's been a long week for us, and we're trying to do the best we can. But we're the struggling hunters, so that's the way it is. Thanks for all the support that you guys give us. Keep it up. If this is your first time listening, consider subscribing.
Please.
Like the video. Listen to the podcast portion. If you can leave a comment or a review, that'd be pretty cool too. Helps us out on the podcast side. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one.
See ya.